Ljubljana is one of those cities that surprises you in the best way. It's small, gorgeous, and has this perfect mix of alpine views and laid-back Mediterranean vibes. We've got 2 days here, so I'm taking you from the dragon bridges and cozy old town streets to Tivoli Park for forest walks and a little history. And stay till the end because I'll share my quick cheat sheet, how to get around, where to stay, and what to eat without wasting time. Alright, let's go. Day 1. Old Town Core and Castle. Morning. Ljubljana Castle. Head straight to Ljubljana Castle to kick off the day. Getting here early's the move. You'll beat the loud tour groups and catch that sharp morning light hitting the Alps. This fortress was built in the 1400s as a massive power move by the Habsburgs, but it's seen much grittier days than your average royal seat. It served as a brutal state prison and even a social housing for the poor before the city finally restored it. Don't feel pressured to hike through every single museum inside, walk the ramparts, and check out the old prison cells to see the darker side of the building's history, which covers everything from Roman times to the collapse of Yugoslavia. If the steep hike up the hill feels like too much for a morning, take the funicular and save your legs for the miles of walking ahead. A standard castle ticket costs about $16, but if you want the funicular ride included, it'll be roughly $20. If you're only here for the panorama, a return trip on the funicular alone costs about $6.50. Insider tip. Skip the full ticket if you're on a budget. You can actually walk into the main castle courtyard for free. Head straight for the viewing rampart. It'll give you that massive city perspective for zero cost, leaving you more in your pocket for a glass of local wine at the Castle Cafe. Late morning. Brunch at the castle. Stay put and grab brunch at Gostilna na Gradu. After conquering the ramparts, this is the smartest move you can make. Zero backtracking and no hangry wandering. The restaurant sits right in the courtyard, serving a massive highlight reel of Slovenia's 24 culinary regions in a relaxed open-air setting. Order the Kranjska klobasa, the legendary local smoked sausage, or the Idrijski zlik rofi, hand-folded dumplings that'll ruin standard pasta for you forever. Pair them with a glass of local white wine. Slovenia's vineyards produce bottles that rival the best in Europe for a fraction of the price. A solid meal here with a drink will cost between $25 and $45. You're paying for a slight premium for the location, but the quality and convenience make it worth every cent. Once you've refueled, you'll head downhill to trade the castle views for the pulse of the city streets. Afternoon. Old Town and the Dragon Bridge. Once you've finished at the castle, wander back down into the old town and trade the medieval fortress vibes for Ljubljana's famous riverside energy. The entire center's a car-free zone, making it one of the most walkable capitals in Europe. You won't need a map or a rigid plan here. The city is designed for drifting through narrow cobblestone alleys and popping into small artisan workshops. Follow the Emerald Green River until you hit the Dragon Bridge, the city's most iconic landmark. You'll see 4 massive copper-green dragons guarding the corners. They look incredibly fierce and serve as the official protectors of Ljubljana. Local legend says these dragons wag their tails whenever a virgin crosses the bridge, but don't hold your breath. They haven't moved in centuries. It's a quick, essential stop for that I made it to Slovenia photo. The bridge is free to cross and puts you right at the edge of the central market, where you can see the city's daily life in full swing. Everything in this part of town is tightly packed, so you can easily move from one bridge to the next without ever having to double back. Ljubljana Central Market. Just past the Dragon Bridge, you land straight in the Ljubljana Central Market. This is where the city stops performing and starts functioning. Locals come here to actually shop, not browse, and that's what makes it worth your time. The market stretches along the river and under the stone arcades, with stalls packed with mountain cheeses, cured meats, local honey, and seasonal fruit. It's lively without being overwhelming, and you don't need a plan. Walk slowly, sample the pumpkin seed oil, and watch how the rhythm changes compared to the postcard spots you just came from. This is a short stop. 15 to 30 minutes is enough, but it grounds the Old Town experience and shows how compact and livable Ljubljana really is. It's the perfect place to grab a quick snack from the bakery stall before the day moves forward. Prešeren Square and Triple Bridge. From the old town alleys, everything naturally funnels toward Prešeren Square, the city's main heartbeat. This circular plaza is anchored by the Franciscan Church of the Annunciation, a massive salmon-pink landmark you can't miss. It's the best spot to get your bearings. Stand by the statue in the center to see the entire city branching out in every direction. Step straight from the square onto the Triple Bridge. This is an architectural oddity you won't find anywhere else. 3 separate pedestrian walkways fanning out across the river. The famous architect LJUBLJANA added the 2 side wings in the 1930s to fix traffic bottlenecks, but today the entire span is a car-free zone. This stretch is easily the most photogenic part of the city, especially when the afternoon light hits the pastel buildings lining the banks. Take a minute here and enjoy the locals leaning against the stone balustrades to watch the wooden boats drift by. This area stays high energy and always moving, so soak in the atmosphere before you head somewhere a bit quieter. Late afternoon, Congress Square. Take a short walk over to Congress Square, one of the most open and grand spaces in the city. After navigating the tighter alleys of the old town, you'll appreciate the breathing room here. The square offers a massive, unobstructed view back up toward the castle, making it the perfect spot for photos that capture the fortress looming over the city. Use this as your official pause point. Grab a seat at one of the side street cafes or just find a park bench to reset your legs for a bit. This area has a much more relaxed academic vibe thanks to the massive University of Ljubljana building nearby. It's a practical spot to keep in mind for later, as the surrounding streets host some of the best dinner options in town. Take your time here to watch the world go by and plan your final evening moves. Whether you want a quick drink or just a quiet place to sit, the square gives you the space to do it without the riverfront crowds. Early evening, cocktails at Nebotichnik. From Congress Square, head over to Nebotichnik, Ljubljana's historic skyscraper. When it opened in 1933, it was one of the tallest buildings in Europe, and it still feels like a step back into Art Deco glamour. Take the elevator straight to the top floor. You don't need to pay an entrance fee to access the rooftop bar and cafe area. The draw here is the 360-degree view. You'll look directly across at the castle and over the terracotta rooftops as the city lights start to flicker on. It's the perfect transition spot. 1 or 2 drinks, a few panoramic shots, and then you're on your way. Order an Aperol Spritz or the signature skyscraper Spritz, made with Cocchi Americano Rossa and Prosecco. If you're skipping the alcohol, their house-made lemonades are great too. You should expect to pay between $8 and $14 for a cocktail, which is a total bargain for a view this legendary. Evening, dinner near Congress Square. Head back toward Congress Square to wind down. This area is a local favorite for dinner, trading the riverfront tourist rush for a more sophisticated atmosphere and plenty of open-air seating. Grab a table at Gostilna Šestica, a city staple serving traditional food since 1776. Order the venison goulash with bread dumplings or the buckwheat strukli, rolled dumplings to get a real taste of Slovenia's rustic flavors. For dessert, you have to try the Prekmurska Gibanica, a massive layered cake with poppy seeds, walnuts, and apples that's legendary in this part of the world. A full dinner with a drink will cost between $28 and $45. It's a relaxed, slow-paced finish to the day that lets you eat well and soak in the city lights. Since you're central, it's a short, easy walk back to your bed once you've finished. Day 2. Parks, museums, and city life. Morning, Ljubljana Cathedral. Start your second day at the Ljubljana Cathedral, right in the heart of the historic center. This 18th century Baroque masterpiece is the perfect first stop while the city is still waking up and the interior is still at its quietest. The real show is inside. You have to look up. The ceiling's covered in massive, vivid frescoes that create an incredible sense of depth and scale. Even the doors are a work of art. The massive bronze Slovene door and Ljubljana door feature 3D sculpted scenes of the country's history that you can actually feel as you walk in. These were added to mark the Pope's visit in the 90s and are easily the most impressive entrance in the city. Entry is a flat $2, and the visit is quick enough that it won't derail your morning. It's a high-impact, low-cost stop that sets the tone for the day before you trade the cobblestones for the massive green spaces waiting for you next. Late morning, Tivoli Park. Once you've had your fill of Baroque art, head west toward Tivoli Park, the city's massive emerald backyard. This is where you trade the tight cobblestone alleys for broad, tree-lined paths and wide-open lawns. It's the perfect bridge between the historic center and your afternoon plans, giving you the chance to reset and breathe in some fresh air. The highlight of the park is the Jakopic Promenade, a grand walkway designed by LJUBLJANA that leads your eyes straight to the neoclassic Tivoli mansion. This stretch acts as a year-round open-air gallery, usually lined with giant, high-quality photo exhibits that you can browse for free as you walk. It's an easy, flat stroll that feels more like a relaxed garden tour than a standard city park. If you need a quick caffeine hit, stop by Ciolarna Tivoli, a charming cafe right on the edge of the park's small pond. You can grab a coffee or a local craft beer for around $3 to $5 and just watch the ducks for a minute. The park is completely free to enter and explore, so take your time looping through the wooded trails before you dive back into the city's cultural side. Afternoon, Rožnik Hill. Once you've finished in Tivoli Park, push deeper into the forest toward Rožnik Hill. This is where the city's green capital title stops being a marketing slogan and starts being a reality. The trails start right behind the park and cut off the city noise almost immediately. There's no pressure to hit a specific summit or follow a strict route. Even 20 minutes of walking gets you deep into the woods. This is the local escape used for morning runs and dog walks by people who want to reset without leaving the city limits. Give this 45 minutes to an hour. It provides a massive contrast to the structured museums from earlier in the day and keeps you from hitting that travel burnout wall. You'll head back down feeling refreshed rather than drained, which is exactly the energy you need before the day wraps up. Lunch at Gostilna Chad. Before you head into the museum, grab a table at Gostilna Chad. This place is a local legend tucked at the base of Rožnik Hill, under a canopy of massive trees. It's been run by the same family since 1889, and it's the best spot to break from the city center's bustle. The menu's famous for grilled specialties. You have to order the cheva pachichi, which are grilled minced meat rolls, or the plietskavica, a spiced Balkan-style burger patty served with a salty clotted cream called kajmak. If you want something more local to Slovenia, their roasted veal is fantastic. It's honest, high-quality comfort food that's stayed the same for decades. Expect to spend between $18 to $28 for a massive lunch and a cold drink. It's the perfect fuel stop before you spend the afternoon diving into history at the museum just a few minutes away. Afternoon, National Museum of Contemporary History. While you're still in Tivoli Park, head over to the Sekonovgrad Mansion to find the National Museum of Contemporary History. This is easily the most content-heavy stop of the day, so it's the perfect time to dive in while your energy's still high. The museum walks you through Slovenia's wild 20th century journey from the trenches of World War I through the decades as part of Yugoslavia to the fight for independence in 1991. You aren't just looking at dusty artifacts. The exhibits use immersive setups like a life-sized replica of a World War I trench and a 1950s living room to show you exactly how life shifted under different regimes. It's a fascinating, sometimes heavy look at how this tiny nation carved out its own identity. Entry is about $6 for a standard ticket. It's a small price for a massive amount of context that'll make everything else you see in Ljubljana make so much more sense. Insider tip: don't skip the Slovenians in the 20th century permanent exhibit on the upper floors. It's chronologically laid out so you can literally walk through time. If you're a fan of photography, check out their massive archive of over 2 million negatives. Some of the temporary photo galleries are world-class. Evening, dinner at Bistro Shvikaria. After finishing at the museum, you don't even have to leave the park for a great meal. Just a short walk away is Bistro Shvikaria, a hidden gem set in a beautiful historic Alpine-style building. It's a favorite for locals who want to escape the city center crowds while enjoying some of the best traditional cooking in Ljubljana. The menu focuses on hearty, honest flavors. You have to try their carniolan sausage or the idria zikrofi, which are small traditional dumplings filled with potato and herbs. If you're looking for something lighter, their seasonal risottos are always a hit. Main dish and drink here will typically cost you between $18 and $30, making it a fantastic value for the quality. It's a quiet, scenic spot to wind down your second day. Once you're done, the walk back through the park into the illuminated city center is the perfect way to finish the evening. Useful info for spending 2 days in Ljubljana. Best time to visit. The best window to explore Ljubljana is from May through June and again in September and October. The weather's pleasant, ranging from 65 to 75 degrees Fahrenheit or 18 to 24 degrees Celsius. This temperature range is perfect for enjoying the outdoor cafe culture and avoiding the humid peak of midsummer. July and August are the busiest and warmest months. Winter is cold, around 30 to 40 degrees Fahrenheit or -1 to 4 degrees Celsius, but offers a festive atmosphere with world-class holiday markets and fewer crowds. City airport tips. Your arrival point will be LJUBLJANA Airport, located approximately 16 miles or 26 kilometers outside central Ljubljana. For the most affordable entry, catch the public bus, which takes about 45 minutes and costs roughly $4. If you want a faster connection, the shared shuttle service is your best option at roughly $12. Alternatively, skip the planning with a taxi, which charges a fixed transfer fee of approximately $35 straight to the city center, taking only about 20 minutes to reach your destination. Where to stay in Ljubljana? When choosing your home base in Ljubljana, aim for areas that define the city's character. The Old Town is a fantastic choice, placing you perfectly beneath the castle, near the Triple Bridge, and along the bustling riverfront. For a completely different energy, focus on Krakowo. Famous for its village-like charm, historic gardens, and quiet lanes just minutes from the center. If you're watching your spending, shared hostel beds begin around $30 nightly. For independent rooms, mid-range hotels typically require an investment starting at $120, with rates often climbing toward $250. Where to eat in Ljubljana? Ljubljana offers culinary depth across its distinct riverside and historic neighborhoods. For a classic, historic Slovenian experience, travel to the base of the Castle Hill and visit Gostilna na Gradu. This acclaimed restaurant specializes in authentic dishes from across Slovenia's 24 culinary regions and costs about $30 to $50 per person for a main course. For a buzzing, more casual alternative, head to the trendy Trubareva Street and find Raw Pasta Bar. This lively spot has a modern atmosphere and serves exceptional fresh, handmade pasta with meals typically running $15 to $25. Finally, for a place dedicated entirely to plant-based food, look for Gaudian Naan. Located near the National Gallery, it's one of the city's premier vegan restaurants, offering creative, high-end fusion dishes and usually costing around $20 to $35 per person. 2 days in the greenest capital in Europe have officially come to an end. From the dragon-guarded bridges of the Old Town to the forest trails of the Tivoli Park and the local flavors of Gostilna Chad, we've covered it all. If this guide helped you navigate Slovenia, hit like and subscribe for more. Ready for the next chapter? Click here to join us in Croatia, where we're trading the riverbanks for the stunning coastlines and the ancient stone cities of the Adriatic.